there, listeners. Welcome to the Family Podcaster where curiosity meets conversation. Join me as I explore intriguing topics from science to human emotion, inviting enthusiasts to share insights and stories from their perspectives. Whether you're a lifelong learner or a curious soul, welcome aboard as we navigate the landscape of knowledge together. Welcome back to Family Podcaster. In our previous episode, we provided an overview of Bangalore water crisis and we touched upon some limitations Bengaluru has over the water crisis situation. Today, we are diving deeper into the topic, exploring its opportunities, what kind of strengths Bengaluru has over the situation, and addressing the pressing issue. Joining us again is Pradhyumna, the urban head at IDEC. So, Pradhyumna, how can technology play a role in solving the water scarcity problem in Bengaluru? Are there any specific innovations you find promising?
Yeah. See, on the technology side, there's a lot of, I would say, a lot of technology has been put to use, be it on the treatment side, be it on pumping stations, be it on the way we have designed the systems. It could be on the pipelines. Earlier, we used to have cast iron. Today, we have ductile iron pipes. A lot of flexibility, in terms of laying the pipes. All that is there. On the technology side, certainly there's a lot of improvement in terms of the membrane-based technologies which has come up, ultrafiltration technologies which has come up. And I would say probably one of the best technologies is all this non-revenue unaccounted for water, the distribution system part of it. The focus coming on that side, the backward integration part. That is, for me, is really a good thought process and real technology involvement, because you're actually trying to take control of the assets which you created for a period of time. Um, Unlike, I mean, if I have to give an anecdote, it's always oil and gas always has very high stakes. A lot of big money is into oil and gas, so a lot of investment to have a control on the system by way of monitoring, by way of and sensors, sensor based meters and flow meters, anything and everything is put there. But in water, unfortunately, people took it for granted and nobody bothered over a period of time uh, to have any control on the system. After you've left the water, after the water has gone out of the overhead tanks, there's actually no control happening. So now you have, I mean, past 20 years, we have come to a stage wherein we have made DMAs, we put meters, we have a recording, there is somebody who sits and analyzes the back end. So that is, for me, is really good. A lot of AI based technologies can really be helpful here. For example, imagine if you have to switch off a borewell which is very far off, three missed calls, you have borewell switched off instead of a man going there. For me, that's a great technology
Mm.
because that reduces the effort, and because somebody was not there, it, it goes on running for hours together is not off. No. That human intervention is there, but at the end of the day, at least life has been made simpler for the operation side of it. So like this, you have a lot of things can be done from this latest technologies what is coming up. And but more than technology side of it, it's all about implementing it. This is what I feel, because finally it boils down to uh, dig the earth, put a pipe, put proper meters, put proper things. Because beyond the stage, it's not like a phone wherein you can do many things. But yes, you can create a lot of dashboards. You can have this SCADA controlled. Earlier we had telemetry, now we have SCADAs. Well, that is helping, but long way to go about. Yeah.
Actually, what you mentioned is so one simple thought which came up on my mind is that Before, in common households, we used to have manual motors where
Yes.
when the water used to overflow from the water tanks, and we
Yeah.
need to manually switch it off. But
Yeah.
with the as the technology improved, we have this automatic which just
Yeah.
monitors.
We have a level switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a level switch which has got an plug with the pump, and the moment there is a low level that's showing indicating pump starts, and then your pump closure happening. That's right example what you picked up.
Yes. So tell me, are there any policy changes or regulatory measures that you believe could significantly improve the water situation in Bangalore?
Yeah. See, I would say three-pronged strategy would be required, especially, for example, a lot of flats have come up in Bangalore, which is not a precedent 25 years back. So nobody had any rule for that. But now you need to have a rule so that even the flat wires are not taken for a ride. Pollution Control Board and PWCC has to come together to understand what is the STP they have put, because beyond 20 flats, there is a requirement for sewage treatment plants. And then there is also a need for reusing that water. But then what did the builder do differently so that that water is treated properly and you have reused? And what happens to the balance water? So some mechanism has to give them before you give a notice to proceed or notice of establishment, whatever those consent to operate and consent to establish. The moment you have given consent to operate, after the 5 years, the builder goes away. So now there has to be a regulatory mechanism there, and some policy created. Somebody answerable, somebody is giving answers to these flat owners, whether this guy has put a right technology there or has he put some nonsense there, because that will all fall on you again. So that is very, very critical. And also, how do you stitch now? A lot of I've met a lot of entrepreneurs who have come up where they will say, I will put an online filtration plant in some common area. They pick up a common area. What you have to do is the excess sewage water has to be transported there. So it treats, and that is a reused water available for all these buildings, all these builders, flyovers. Uh, there are certain set water quality standards which they maintain, and then that water can be given to all these building construction guys. You can make it mandatory that was building construction has to use a reuse water only. Don't touch the normal water. Don't take even the tanker water. I mean, those kind of things is the need of the hour. I'm sure there will be something, but that enforcement of that is very, very critical. Because what I've found is, I mean, imagine there are 300 flats and you have big STP there. 3 years it goes off, and you have to literally redo it by spending close to that money. But had somebody checked what that fellow has given, what was right or wrong, has he done some understanding, or it was left to some junior engineer who does not understand anything? Because that is a critical thing. This is what a flat owner is also asked to need to ask these questions to the builders, and builders also have to be responsible. And for all of them to be stitched and done, there has to be effective laws and regulations. I mean, that at the lower end is very important, because government cannot keep on adding assets. BWSB is doing their role, somebody else is doing their role. But here the problem has become aggravated because nobody visualized this kind of a development could happen in Bangalore. Now it has happened. Now this is the way you address them. So those policies are very, very critical. Pollution Control Board has to play a critical role along with BWSSB.
How important is sustainable water management in ensuring long-term solutions to the water crisis in Bengaluru?
See, sustainable, when you say sustainable water management, how do you how it becomes very, very sustainable? Now it has to be a mix of conjectives. You look at from the three pronged, or uh, two ways of looking at it. One is, how do you recharge the groundwater? Make sure that there is always groundwater. So for that, there has to be a what do you say, a war footing kind of a fight against all this, and make sure all the lakes are converted into storage bodies, and so that it percolates down the groundwater. Because everything else is concrete jungle. There is no lung space available for you. So that is one way of sustaining the groundwater, which can cater to a lot of needs of people whom you are not able to cater. Because imagine BWSSB, by the time they reach these 110 villages, some more will be added, something else will be added. So there will always be demand supply gaps. So another one is BWSSB is doing their effective work of adding process. Now they have now built 2,300 mld of water. By 775 adding, it will become. Now, how do you make sure that the non-revenue unaccounted water is reduced or brought to at least 15% level? That should be your core focus. And use of these technologies, what I suggested, because a lot of urban areas will have a lot of slum kind of areas, a lot of semi-peri-urban areas in Bangalore where there is no amenities at all. So how do you cater to those guys? That becomes very challenge. That is where I said, unless and until you secure the groundwater and aquifers and all, and also look forward how they build the assets, and now going back again, backward integrate, then you can say, yes, I'm trying to use a conjunctive mix of conjunctive use where people can start taking open wells. They can start the day you'll be able to have open wells in your own house, in your own premises, in your own site. That day you can say, yes, there is some good recharge mechanism happening in and around your areas, or at least a borewell which comes at 100 feet of water. Then you really say, yes, you have done. One of the as an example I'm giving, one of the projects which they did is KNC Valley project. They spent around 1,500, 1,800 crores of money. Because if you look at all this Chikballapur, Tumkur, entire belt, Kolar, Mulabaglo, all these areas, always drought. There's no water at all. There's no groundwater at all. So minor irrigation and BWSB came together, and we have 400 mld of water, treated water, secondary treated water from the STPs, transported via big pipelines to all these areas, and 137 tanks were filled. 135 minor irrigation tanks were filled in all these areas. After, I think IISc did an impact study. What is the impact of that? They found that 80% groundwater levels have come up because of these tank filling process. Because if you have consistently 10 years of drought where you don't have monsoon, no rains coming up, what do? There's no water. So this was a classic example. My question was, when you can do that there, why can't you do that in your own lakes in Bangalore? You have so much amount of wastewater, treat it to tertiary levels, put it back so that you recharge, and you also make sure that whatever you groundwater levels have to go up, the table has to go up. So if you have to do that, you can do that for KNC. Now they are trying to do similar kind of exercise in Nagavara Valley with another 67 times in and around Bangalore areas. That's a great thought, I would say, because it finally goes to the ground. It is filtered by the ground itself. You have done a secondary treatment, you filtered, and then you dig a borewell. You will have a good, at least water available for all your purposes. You can use this. And one good thing or bad thing, I don't know. In Karnataka, we have 17,000 RO plants, drinking water RO plants. That means you put a 5 rupee coin, you get 20 liters of water, RO water. I think 14,000 or 15,000 are working, 2,500 are not working. That is what was the Ipsos study, which 1 or 2 years back we did. It is spread across Karnataka. So that can be used for drinking water purpose, and this water can be used for all other purposes. As a thought, when you don't have anything, this is the way you can do it. So uh, that is what I mean when I say use these water, what is treated water, as a source, not as a problem. The moment you start using it as a source, you will find where to put this water. Treat it, make sure that there are teething issues. If you ask me, KNC Valley project, hundreds of teething issues will be there. MI will say, I will not pay the O&M charges to BWSB, will tell something. All these exchanges will be happening. Let it happen. Teething issues will be there. Nothing is foolproof. But at least you addressed 90% of the problem there. You may have 20-30% of teething issues. That also you sort out over a period of time, because it's your own set of bodies. So, but the impact which ISC did, impact study, gives me a lot of confidence that we can do great things here. in Bangalore as well.
So,
Yeah,
from your suggestion, like how long can it take for the underground water to build up?
that's what I mean. The faster we move, faster we treat these water and put it into these lakes instead of allowing it to dry up. I mean, 1 or 2 years it will go down, and then you will have a change in impact, change of you will have a rainfall pattern changing. You will see that it is actually doing great work in the whole process. See, one is that aspect of it, but imagine, I mean, one is the government knows that surrounding areas of a lake is there, so you treat that water and you put it back. That is one way of looking at things. Imagine some flat owner, some big communities which is built. There's no lake nearby. There's nothing. What do you do there? That is where these entrepreneurs, kind of people who have come up, some tanker wala, one company is there, some white water, somebody is there. They will put up a small filtration plant for you, and then they will treat your sewage and they will give it to an outlet. So this has to be controlled by a regulated by a policy, and such people have to be encouraged so that they're actually handling one portion of a problem. So we cannot keep on looking at only BWSSB as having a set, let it go on. So it cannot happen like that. You need to have a groundwater. You need to know how to use your treated wastewater. What do you do? What are the revenues you have? All that has to be looked at holistically. Then you can have a better way. But the sooner, the faster. The moment, I mean, you can, for example, Subramanyapura Lake. I mean, that's a classic example where consistently it has been neatly maintained. Now you will see that groundwater. People around surrounding these areas, you can ask them. They will be able to tell you that borewells are not drying up and they are getting water consistently. Similarly, Kempambudi Kere, so like that. So where all the water has always been there and you have used, you can see that surrounding adjoining areas, borewells, open wells are still not drying. That's a classic example for you. So the more and more you may have to, the way we create DMAs, you may have to create pockets of areas and see which lake is there, so that you focus on that particular lake and then treat that water and put that into lake and do whatever is necessary in the lake as a lake restoration project, and so that the groundwater in the surrounding areas will go up. Like that, we need to have a lot of districts or pockets in around Bangalore. Then you can say overall groundwater has gone up. Maybe if you do it now, say assume that you start today's a zero date, and then you take 1 year to do all these exercises. I mean, 2, 3 years down the line, you will see that groundwater is gone. That's the way it is.
Some people have this conception, I guess, of sewage treated water. They say that it has side effects. Is this true?
No, see, as I told you, you can't have secondary treated water sent to the lakes because certainly secondary treatment, now NGT has changed the norms. Nutrient removal has to happen. You can't send this with phosphorus because phosphorus creates eutrophication in the lakes. So you have to have a tertiary treatment done. But tertiary treatment need not be always a MBR. Need not be always a very expensive deal. You can always have a secondary treated water and then have the soil biotechnology or constructed wetland or something like that, which will actually polish and take it off. But nutrient removal is very critical. Nitrogen phosphorus cannot be allowed to be put into the lakes. People will have these kind of things. But my point is we are not giving that water to you to drink. This water is going into a lake, right? And that will have a standing water column, will have a percolation in the ground. It will go down the ground. It will filter and then only go, right? Ground is not like, it's just open barrier, right? It filters and then only goes, right? And in the whole process, a lot of filtration has already happened. After that, you extract that water and then use it for other purposes. And again, most of the households have this small RO household level. Each one has got RO plant, small RO, that dispenser, water dispenser is always there. So again, you drink with treatment only, right? So how many treatment levels? So I think people have to be educated that was this is to enhance the groundwater recharge, not for any other purposes. So they need not have to have that in mind. And tell me something, when you don't do that, it actually goes. For example, I'll just give an example, just to knock off the minds of people that it is treated wastewater. Without treatment, everything is going to Bayamangala, all the Vrishabhavati Valley. Some pockets are only getting treated. Everything goes to Vrishabhavati Valley, and it finally meets your that Paschim Vahini and all the places. It is meeting Kaveri River. It is not good. Again, you treat that water in Mandya, and then you take it back. So it is actually mix of treated wastewater only, which is getting mixed.
Okay.
So what it goes to river is fine with it. So what I'm trying to say is, somewhere people have to be educated that was this is the only way for us to do a recharge. Otherwise, it is not possible. And second thing is, uh, uh, one is the people's thought process. Second thing is on the government's action also. I mean, instead of doing nothing, you can always do this, right? In the name of 100%, many a time in India, we are known for looking at everything to be perfect, 100%. And finally, we do nothing. Not even 10% is being done. Rather than that, you do 80% or 60%. At least you've done 60%. I mean, that is where let us stop looking at everything to be 100% solutions, because solutions will evolve over a period of time. And except God, man-made will always have some flaws. So let us live with that. Not a, as long as we address the issues. Because today, instead of looking at 1,500 feet of groundwater also not available when you spend 2 lakhs, 3 lakh rupees, and you don't get borewell water. Instead of that, I would rather do these mechanisms of using these lakes as a recharge bodies and increasing the groundwater to 100 feet. I would rather do that. And then again, you do some treatment. Yeah, put a household level dispenser, RO, something. Then drink. Who's stopping? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you discuss
Because
any partnerships or collaborations between different stakeholders like government, NGOs, private sector that have been effective in tackling water crisis?
see, there is when you say collaboration, first is collaboration of different government bodies. It happens. And I know for sure. Uh, used to work with the rural drinking water sanitation department. Whenever a project was conceived, urban water needs were also taken up. Karnataka urban water board needs were taken up. BWSSB, if some adjoining urban villages were there, their needs were also taken up. So this actually happens when at the design stage itself, at the when we conceive a project itself. On the partnership side, I mean, a lot of people are having these lakes partnership. A lot of people are trying to do regeneration, beautification of lake. Uh, but I would still say there's nobody to stitch. I'm per se not seen a great example of community coming together and doing something. They do it, but that does not last long. I mean, because there is no scientific approach towards that. As a conservationist, we all may hold a placard and go in there, but finally it has to be an engineering solution. Otherwise, it will just die down. People will lose interest over a period of time. I've not seen a great example like that, where collaborative approaches come towards this.
Yeah.
A lot of things can be done, but I've not seen a great collaborative.
Okay. So then, are there any lessons Bangalore can learn from other cities or regions that have successfully addressed water scarcity issues?
Yeah, Bangalore can always learn from lot of cities in terms of water crisis. What other cities have done. I think Indore has done a great work. I think some it all depends on the government guy again at DC. There, I remember in Tamil Nadu, he regenerated I think 150 Kalyanis adjoining to all the temples. So that is a great lesson to be learned. Kalyanis were regenerated. So We have a lot of examples of various cities. As I say, I think Bangalore has to look at Singapore in terms of lessons learned, so that you effectively use the treated water, because secondary treated wastewater is a big problem now, because 2000 mld you are pumping, so 1800 mld will come out as wastewater. Now, what do you do with that water unless you have places to take it and put it and use that effectively? Otherwise, it becomes a problem. Unless you see that. So, Singapore has done a great thing by telling people that, boss, this is new water, this is drinking water. There always a twin pipeline. So the Madaprabhu Kempegoda layout is a great example. Hope that layout picks up fast, and we see the issues or challenges or whatever we've seen, so that we can pick up some lessons and then start implementing in other layouts also. Because going forward, we have to be prepared to use treated water. When we can't keep on asking for uh, you know, river water, treated water coming to us for all our purposes. And industries have to be mandatorily given treated wastewater. And a lot of commercial models can be thought of on that. And as I said, unless you use that potential, you can't cater to the needs of Bangalore at all. You'll not be able to do
So, to end this episode with, how do you see the balance between urban development and water conservation efforts in Bengaluru?
that. See, urban development you can't see. If you look at uh, the way we've urbanized in the last 2 3 decades, it was nobody could even imagine that Bangalore will grow to such peaks and heights. And water crisis will always be there unless you have the groundwater asset treated properly, used, recharged properly, and effectively reduce the UFW and RW, so that you add, without adding assets, you get more water available to you, and then treated wastewater being used. So this water crisis will always be there unless you know how to handle this treated wastewater and put it into effective use, and groundwater also being taken up, and existing assets maintained properly. This is about water crisis. Urbanization will, I mean, you look at the way Bangalore is growing, it will keep growing again. You will find that we would have extended beyond Bidadi, we would have extended beyond certain areas, we would have gone out. Maybe we may have to create an NCR kind of a model also. The days are not short. So this will always be there. But nonetheless, the only way I say is these three being taken care properly. Then you can cater to this. But shortfall will always be there, because nobody can anticipate what is happening. I think to end on a small piece, probably Sir Vishweshwaraya was the man who was able to visualize 100 years. He could foresee 100 years. Jamshedji Tata was able to foresee 100 years. We are not even able to foresee 1 year, 2 years. So that is the thing. So we cannot visualize, but yes, some visionary will come out and do.
Yes,
So it is. Yeah.
that's 100% right.
Yeah. Anyway, on a ending note, I would say that a lot has been done. A lot needs to be done on the policy level, on groundwater, on treated water, and normal water. What we have, unless we take actions immediately and have a proper mechanism to deal with these things will go out of control. Yeah, they already we are out of control, but there's no way to damage the control the damage. We will lose that also. Thank you.
Absolutely. So now, as we wrap up this episode, I'd like to express my gratitude for your time and thoughtful input. Your insights have been incredibly enlightening.
Yeah. Thank you, ma. Thanks for giving us this opportunity. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to part 2 of this episode. I hope you found the discussion engaging and insightful. Be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll talk about how to move forward for a positive change in times of water scarcity. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep listening. Thanks for being part of this podcast community. Your family podcaster Pragati Achar signing off.